One of the biggest sports competitions in the state of Delaware is coming back after a hiatus, and it is one of the biggest high school competitions in the country. To talk more about that is Dr. Matt Robinson, who is the Slam Dunk in the Beach Tournament chairman and also the chairman of the Delaware Sports Commission. Sir, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Larry.
This is pretty exciting. Talk about the tournament.
Sure. We had it last year. Was the first year back after that 10-year hiatus. We had great success with it in terms of the quality of play. I think the local businesses, and one of the intent behind it was generating economic impact for the local area. We did a study and looked like we generated over $1 million in economic impact for the beach area in Sussex County. Had some of the top players and teams in the country participating, and we're hoping to continue that this coming year. And we have some real exciting teams from in-state as well as out-of-state that will be participating.
Now, this used to happen every year, years ago. Why did it stop?
Well, there were some issues that came up in regards to the management and the leadership of the tournament, and unfortunately it ended. But it had a great history, and some of the great players who played in there, when you talk about LeBron and Carmelo Anthony, those like Dwight Howard. So people really wanted it to come back. And we really looked at it, and we put a great team in place that believes it's not just me, but it's a great team of people that were doing it for the right reasons, very professional, and I think we achieved what we set out to accomplish.
Yeah, it was amazing in the past. If you look at the NBA All-Star team, many of the players, the only one you left out that I know of is Kevin Durant, also played there, and so they played, and so it really is, it is a preeminent tournament in the country, and how did it come back? Whose idea was it to bring it back?
Well, as chairman of the Sports Commission, we try to bring sporting events to the state for economic development purposes and economic impact. Over the past 4 years, we've generated over $30 million through the events that we've brought to the state. We weren't doing much down in Sussex County, and we'd heard about this tournament. There was some bad associations, but a lot of good memories, and we really looked at it. We found out that legally that we were able to use the name, and so we decided to use the name for it. We hired a sports marketing firm called Position Sport. They helped us identify the top flight teams. We brought in Dover Motorsports that were involved with selling the tickets and sponsorship. And then we used students from the University of Delaware that were very involved with the operations of the event. So really it was a state effort in bringing that event to Sussex County, and I think it really was a great advertisement for the state. We had games broadcast on ESPN, and we're going to increase the number of games next year. So it's just a great event.
When you say increase the number of games, you mean that you're going to increase the number of games that will be broadcast by ESPN next year?
Exactly. We did one last year that was broadcast on ESPN. We had others that were streamed and were sent out on other networks. But ESPN's interested in having potentially 3 games this coming year from the tournament.
So this coming year, do you know the teams?
We have identified the state teams, because we have a complement of state teams that are going to play, and we're still in the process of finalizing the national teams that are going to play. So for example, last year, a team that we had is very interesting coming back is Christ the King. They were an excellent team last year, and there's a real good chance they'll be back next year this year with one of their top players.
But when you reach out to teams, you are reaching out necessarily to the top teams in the country.
We're looking at teams that either have the top players in the country, rated as, for example, last year, Isaiah Briscoe was the rated #1 point guard in the country. He's going to Kentucky. That had a lot to do with his school being invited, but also there's good schools. So, for example, Gonzaga, that's out of Washington, D.C., has a great tradition. So they were involved this year. So really, we rely on our company, Position Sport. They're involved with Nike. They're actually up in New York running the Michael Jordan high school tournament this year. They have all the relationships. They have a sense of who are the best players, who the best teams are, and that's who we've worked with to identify.
So when are you going to announce the teams?
We'll be announcing that in June.
Do you have any kind of idea?
Well, again, because we don't have anything contractually, but we'd like to get strong teams. One thing that's great about Delaware, we're in the heart of basketball. We have Philadelphia, we've got Washington, we've got Baltimore, we've got Northern Jersey. So if you think the top teams from those areas, those are the potentials that could come.
I would imagine that you get a lot of scouts at the...
We had last year, I think we counted it out to be about 25 scouts. Jay Wright from Villanova, we had coaches from the Atlantic 10, we had an ACC coach there. So it was, people were coming.
Yeah, so if the scouts are coming, you know it's good basketball, and you would want to come. Where can people find out more about it?
SlamDunkToTheBeach.com is all the information. Our tickets are actually on sale now for next year. And then, like you said, we'll be doing some announcements with the national teams that will, like I said, once we have them finalized, and I'm sorry I can't name them.
That's okay, I was trying though.
Yeah. But once we have them, we'll announce those in June. And then in the fall, we'll announce the matchups of the games. And again, we try to pit some top players against each other to make it a marquee game. And again, last year, just it was a great event. We heard great feedback from it and the quality of the competition. The state teams really represented us well. Slasianum and Sanford, Cape Henlopen, the host, just did a great job in representing the state as well.
Okay, I look forward to it. I'd love to come this year.
Great.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Dr. Matt Robinson from the Slam Dunk to the Beach tournament. You are the chairman of it, and also he's the chairman of the Delaware Sports Commission. When we come back, we've talked about some of the best athletes in the country. Now we'll talk about getting you up off the couch. It's called Move It Delaware. We'll tell you exactly what that is when the Delaware Way continues.